Could it be that Power BI is something different to what we're being told it is? Could our assumptions be wrong? Could everything that we know be just out of whack, out of sync? What's going on with this? Hi, my name is Ross, the creator and founder of Geordie Consulting and Geordie Intelligence, the YouTube channel you're watching right now. What I hope you've realised in the last couple of weeks as we've been going through is that we've been really trying to land some core concepts of Power BI with us as IT professionals. Because the assumption of, oh, it's a BI platform that we have is very much that legacy mentality. And that legacy mentality is what led to the success of the likes of Power BI, the likes of Tableau and Click. It's that ability to really land at the foot of the business enterprise-grade analytics. And that's what Power BI, Tableau, Click do really well. They give the business the power. The challenge that that has is that with that power, as with many things, with great power comes great responsibility. And that then is where those platforms, and Power BI as well, can fall down. And this is then where IT can get involved and really add that value layer, add value and help support that structured layer. Okay, so that's why we're talking about governance, data governance, what that really means, talking about actually what goes on with modeling and why pipelines in Power BI really are only part of the tale. So that mindset of, isn't going to solve the problem. But it doesn't necessarily land. So we're going to try, finally, let's just cover this all off. Let's look at model to visual. Okay, let's try and understand that part. Okay, because that tells the story and that makes sense. Before we go any further, I wanted to really call this video out, okay, because this dropped just as I was about to shoot, okay, and I rummed and hard, read it, went through it, thought, no, let's revisit, okay, because I thought, have Cube finally, are they going to back this is how Power BI is done? They haven't, okay, and disappointed doesn't even come close to how I feel about this video, because Power BI is not changing. Successful businesses using Power BI successfully, okay, and be honest with you, they are few and far between, but successful businesses are leveraging the power of the semantic model. You have semantic models connected to multiple reports across multiple workspaces, serving multiple teams. If you think that sounds stupid and ridiculous, stop, okay? Think about your corporate metrics that you've got. Your company, your corporation will have a core set of, you'll have your value statement and you'll have your core set of metrics that support your value statement. We have this. Whatever it is, whatever your company does, they will have something at that global level. So it's not pie in the sky to say, right, why are we not providing our analytics at a global level? The fewer semantic models you have, the better your business will perform. Okay, it's really easy when you start Power BI to build Power BI, and I think this is what this video is aimed at, to build a Power BI model for a report. And that doesn't work because you end up with one-to-one relationships in terms of semantic model to report. And because you've got that, you've got a huge high cost of ownership because every model has to be maintained and managed. And if something changes, you've potentially got to change 20, 30 models because one thing's changed. Far better is to have one semantic model servicing those 30 reports. And then if something changes, you update one model and all those reports downstream are automatically updated. That is the power of Power BI. That's where the game changes. And that is also why a lot of the assumptions of a legacy BI mindset, well, we're going to build this, we're going to do that, this is what it is, it stops working. And a lot of what Microsoft will tell you, oh, this is how to use Power BI. It's rubbish, right? It doesn't work that way. Okay. I've changed data sets for this one because this is, I think, what we need to look at. This is what I need you to kind of get your head around. Okay. This is one semantic model. This is our new parkrun semantic model, okay, that we built as part of the last season we did. Okay, we built this. And as part of it, we kind of talked around a few things, did a few things. Oh, well, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do. Okay, and then suddenly I had a look at the end. And I was like, oh, wow, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 artifacts. 11 artifacts. Connected to it already. And this was just something we kind of Mickey Moused about with, did a few things with it. And the eagle-eyed of you say, well, yeah, you've got the same thing 4 times. We might start with the same thing 4 times. We might start with a core sales report and publish it to multiple areas that need that core sales report. And they're all based on the same metrics. But then, oh, well, our team over in insert department, insert region, insert shop store, they want an extra page on this. We could easily add that page based on the existing semantic model. Okay? And it's really important to make sure you use existing semantic model. Once you start saying, well, I'm going to use this as a secondary report, but we're going to build our own semantic model within it, the wheels really come off very quickly, okay? So avoid like the plague. There are times you might need to, but avoid, do with eyes wide open if you are going to do it. But, okay, just because these have got the same titles does not mean these would be the same, okay? What you can also see is these have got different locations. So we're publishing to multiple locations, potentially to multiple audiences across our whole business. We, which is again, if we go back to the whole adoption roadmap, Center of Excellence is doing this. They're managing those semantic models. They are looking after those semantic models. Your community of practice might be there and supporting the various workspaces. You might have that handover. Oh, we're going to take you through. We've built the tools to make it easy for you. Really simple. Any questions, give us a call, message us on Teams, whatever it is. You make it easy. We mentor, we support. But we're not going to say, oh, we're going to do, because we couldn't do it all. Remember what I said? Tableau, Click, Power BI. They came from a world where the business does. Okay, so we can support to a point, and then the business has to be able to do. So if we come back out of here and we go and we look back at this workspace, you see what we mean. So in the context of this workspace alone, and this is largely to do with because you can't share stuff with the semantic model in a different workspace. So I can't publicly share, so I can't publicly share, which I've told you all, never ever publicly share. We do it purely because we want you to be able to click through report content, because seeing is believing. This is what we've built, this is it, click, 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 you can see it. Okay, so we've got these 4 different versions that we've published at various different times to make available for people. So they're there. Okay, that's the reasoning for these 3, sorry. Okay, this 4th one that's the master file that kind of comes with the semantic model. You can change the name, you can do what you want with it. My advice is always the same. So if we go and open this report, you see, we've just got this front page. Do not use visualizations. And then we've got information from the data dictionary in terms of tables and column counts. Okay, so we've got some meaningful information in there. And then I've put some totals in there so you can see, all right, okay, well, I see what's going on here. I get it, I understand. But there's a clear admonishment there. Do not use for visualizations. This is purely that. And the last thing that we've got in here, because I always have realistically in here lots of little pages which I've used to build and just to sample and test, and those can come from various reports around the business. But when you're doing updates, you want to validate, don't you, before you publish? So bringing in a page from various reports to test the various uses and use cases people have, it's just common sense. If it's not working in Power BI desktop, don't be publishing it, because it's never going to work for your customers. So you kind of fix it, you make sure it works. If the measure has to change, something has to change, you know what you've got to document that people are going to have to do. And then that's going to have to feed into our IT managed change management process, because we have to go through this rigor. That's where we can bring that structure to the whole game. Okay, what we've got here, this one I like, is this disconnected slices view. Okay, This is really important for being able to understand what happens at any point. Okay, so we've built the disconnected slices. We can go to an event, we can see across time, history. So I was building that whole thing, making sure the logic was right, which then went in to build the report pack, which I believe is this one. Yeah, here, which is shared publicly. There's a link down below. But what it allows you to do is you can pick an event, you can pick a location, you can pick a year. So we could say we're going to pick Town Moor for 2025, and go and see the report. And we can then click through and see the Newcastle overview, the specifics of Town Moor, all that information. And that page in that report was just where I was trying to bring together, is this working? Are we getting the values out so we can write the text, so we can do everything like that we'd want to do? Okay? Okay. So it makes sense to have stuff like that. That's what I'm saying to you. Okay, so we've always got that primary file. Okay, and you can choose to show or hide file content from it. So if we go back to the workspace view here, and we go back in, have a look here, and let's have a look. We can see where it's going. We see 11 child items across 4 workspaces. This is massive, isn't it? This is where we're seeing the reality. There's a change here. We can see all the downstream items. We can click to say, well, details here. Okay. Look at the item details. We've got all the table information. We've got everything here. Lineage is the key. And it's all worked through permissions. So we can use this here. So here's an example where we've got a group set up, and this is definitely what you want to use is groups. So teams are ideal for this. Use teams to give permissions. For the visualization layer in a different workspace, all they need is that read permissions. In this case, we give read and build, right? And build is one that people, build sounds terrible. Build gives you the ability to create additional spreadsheets or Power BI content based on the semantic model. Does not give you the ability to edit the semantic model. It's the ability to build content based on it. Okay, it's build, it's not edit, it's build. So it's a forward progression. Okay? Yeah? So it's a good one to have, but it's also one to be aware of. The other nice thing about build is if you go through the app route and you're publishing stuff up to the app and you've got this, and people have build permissions, if you have to go down the route of using RBAC within Power BI, it will respect build. So they'll be able to go and build a report based on something, but it will also have RBAC, so role-based access, built into it. So they will only see what they're allowed to see. If they want to send that to Steve at a different store, for example, Steve will see what Steve can see. Okay, so you're not locked anymore to that view of, well, this is only mine. So there's some nuances to be aware of with build, but it's definitely a very useful thing for it. Okay. One note of caution, okay? We've got here in this lineage, you can see spreadsheets and dashboards. What you can't see, scorecards is one, by the way, we can't see scorecards in here. The other thing we can't see, which is really important and really, I think, lands this idea that there's more to Power BI than what you're thinking, is this, okay? So this is our Excel spreadsheet that we built, right? And one of the things we did was this back of a fag packet thing, okay? So for those of you who don't know anything about parkrun, have no involvement in parkrun whatsoever, people travel to do parkrun. So I'm going to go and do a parkrun, go and do a different parkrun. Obviously, people might be saying, oh, I'm taking my family on a weekly holiday or on a week's holiday, and we're going to make sure that, oh, actually, where we're nearby, there's a parkrun that I want to do. So they might go and do the parkrun and then carry on with their holiday, or they might be go and do the parkrun on the way to the holiday or on the way back. Stranger things have happened. And honestly, in the world of parkrun, you would be going to 2 parkruns because you'd be going there, one on the way and then one on the way back. Make sure you hit both. Yeah, different ones, of course. So the question was, how can we look at a rough ballpark figure for it, because we'd never be accurate. It's impossible to be accurate with this. Which brings us to another point of analytics as a whole topic, and especially as we're moving in this world of AI, we have to remember something, okay? Analytics builds solutions to finite problems, okay? Very specific problems. We can look, we can measure specific things, but wider scope questions can never be answered. I could look and I could see and I could say, right, we had 200 people went and did this park run today. Why that number? Why not 210? Why not 190? I don't know. And I'll be honest, I probably would never know, short of going and surveying everybody, because again, you've got not just people who attended, you've got people who didn't attend. So we'd have to somehow work out a way of surveying everybody in the area and go, well, why did you not go and do that park run today? And potentially everybody outside the area, potentially everybody in the world. So your scope makes it impossible. The finite view is this many people turned up. Why that many people turned up? Finger in the air is the best we can do with it. Right? And it's really easy, and we're doing lots of work with AI in the business at the moment. It's really easy, and we're seeing so much hallucination in the data as we're kind of ripping it apart and going, no, this isn't right. These assumptions are all wrong. So trying to use analytics and BI, or AI for analytics or AI for BI, is incredibly scary. The hallucination level is off the charts with it. And what I'm seeing more and more as we're doing it is like hallucinations are just all over the place with it. So from a BI perspective, you could not use AI realistically for any level of BI right now. It might be useful, and believe me, it's very useful in helping you write measures and doing that kind of thing. But if you're looking to use AI for BI, tread very carefully, my friend, be what I'd say. But yeah, finite solutions is what we get from BI. Okay, this is what it will give us. You had this many sales. You did this much. Why your customer chose something, why somebody did that, you won't get. If I compare people's finish times week over week, well, does that work? Are they putting in the same level of effort? You could have somebody who's consistently finishing at the same time and getting fitter and fitter and fitter, and their actual push that they're pushing is going down. But you would never see that from the results. You might question, oh, this person's not improving. They might be massively improved. We can't see that in the results. We can't see that story. We have a data point that means and potentially doesn't mean something. Yeah? So we need to be really careful about it. But anyway, this was one of the nicest. I love doing this. So this was kind of back of a fag packet. This is the sort of thing I love getting down and dirty with. So it's kind of applying some rules to people traveling, and then attributing a rough value, and it is rough value. It's rough and ready, but it's something which, because it's consistent, you could look and you could use it. And what it allows us to do is look and see right across the piece. So for Newcastle, across the history, we've had maybe 2.5 million in terms of economic benefit from parkrun, which for the city council, they don't pay anything for parkrun. They'll turn around and say, oh, well, we pay to keep the parks clean, we do this, we do that. And okay, yeah, to a certain extent. But this is potentially money that's flowing into cafes, into hotels for people to stay overnight. And again, this could be an order of magnitude out in terms of, this could easily be 20 million, quite easily. I don't think it'll be, 200,000. I think it's, between 2 to 5 million is probably where I'd think you might find that's where we could bet the farm. But it's that logical structure that we've gone through. So how much does somebody spend when they go to attend a parkrun? That was kind of the crux of the question. And the view was looking at things like, are they a first timer? Are they, is it a PB? Have they just got a PB? Are they doing something else? So we're looking at these kind of things. So, right, how do we use these? How can we split these up? And I think, we've taken first timers and a percentage of first timers. So, well, these are going to be the real tourists. Okay, it's just as a percentage, but it's rough. We're trying to work it out roughly. And we could wrap a whole model around it a lot more. But the question would be, is it worth doing that because there's more value in it? Or is it worth being able to look and say, oh, actually, potentially we could say, look, we're looking to try and get to, if we look at Newcastle, we say, well, last year we had 330,000 from it. We want to try and show more in terms of benefit. We could look and we say, well, we're up to May and we're only at 134. That's a worry. Potentially we're behind. We need to do more to get more. What's going on? These are questions that can be answered. These are things that can be looked at and actually investigated. And because it's all logically broken down, and the idea was we don't have to look at it by number. We could look at it by by financial, and we could look at it in terms of actual people who've come and done something, and there's a whole way to do it. And the attribution of financial value is just to help sell the story. But to the point, those Excel spreadsheets never appear in this lineage. So you'll never get that full picture of everything that goes on across that semantic model, because you could have 50 people with connected spreadsheets to that thing. And those connected spreadsheets are great because there's no data beyond the content of a pivot table in here, and yet it's running against this model, which if we go back to here, we can see has got 2.2 million rows of data across it, 200,000 volunteer sessions, but 2.2 million runs, participation events are being tracked within that report. That's what we're doing. And that's in a spreadsheet, but it doesn't need all those rows of data. It just sits there, does the pivot table. All I need to do is come in when I want to look at it, go to data and refresh all. And it'll refresh based on what's available online. I can even set it to automatically refresh when I first open the file. All these things are available. It's not this is difficult to do. This is suddenly data is front and center. I haven't downloaded an Excel spreadsheet or Excel or CSV or anything like that people talk about. I've gone into Excel. I have gone in, got my data, and then picked from Fabric and there from Power BI. Okay, and it gives me my list of semantic models that I have access to, and I can pick one and I can build my content. So it becomes clear we need to make sure we've got everything available and pushed and progressed in a way that people can access. Yeah. So what do you think? This has to land, okay, because this is the differentiator of what Power BI does over the competition. If you don't embrace this principle, you're just following through with the competition, and you're going to build single reports that are serving single use. And then when next week the new use comes through, you're back to reinvent the wheel. One of the worst things I see IT teams doing is they are effectively building flat file reports. So we need this export. This is the export that we used to build this report for so-and-so. We're going to automate it. Brilliant. We'll take the export and we'll just push it through. It's now available in Power BI. We've done whatever crap we need to build that report. Off we go. Job done. No. You've fallen at the first hurdle because you haven't built a semantic model. You've pushed through a basic solution that will work now. And it might work for 6 months. It might even work for a year. It might work for 2 years. But what I can guarantee you is when next week there's a requirement change, you have to kind of retool the whole thing because you haven't built it with a view of this is going to evolve, this is going to grow. And that this is going to evolve, this is going to grow is what you have to do as a Power BI developer. You have to be building content with a view of it's right today. How can we future-proof it? What do we need to do to be ready for the next step? What tools do we need to use? Why should we go and actually look at things like info.view.tables, info.view.relation, info.view.columns, info.view.measures, right? Actually build that data dictionary embedded within the model so that people can see easily at a glance what is actually going on. Make it available to your customers. Don't make them extra documents. Oh, I'm going to extract everything, put it in a Word document and expect people to read it. They won't. If you've got it in the app, and you go, oh, data dictionary, click there, see, all right, this is, okay. You can put a search in so they can view, see what's going on. Use description within them so you can actually write the descriptive text that's going to help people. This is what this is doing. This is why it's of use. Make sure you go through, use Vertipack Analyzer. DAX Studio, export the metrics, Vertipack Analyzer, open VPACs, review your model with the view of where the inefficiencies are, we're going to fix. And inefficiencies are, you've got columns that are taking up 10, 15, 20% of your semantic model. Have you got local date time turned on, or auto date time, sorry, turned on, and you haven't turned it off yet? Make sure you've got a proper calendar table. Make sure you've got dates properly evaluated. Don't bring through times unless you need the times, and make sure those times are at the right granularity for your business. There's very, very few things in life are important down to the thousandths of a second. Okay? You know, from a retailer perspective, no. What I care about from a retailer perspective is likely to be shifts, in terms of these are the shift patterns that I have my staff on. I want to know that we're getting value out of that shift. But what I'm most likely going to say is I want an hour by hour breakdown, or it might be half hour by half hour breakdown of what sales go through my business. Anything else, I don't really care, because that breakdown allows me to say, right, we've got 3 staff at this point, 2 staff, 4 staff, and we can easily see, is there an issue? But again, need to be careful. For a retailer, we've got tills, say, for example, and we're looking, we're going to get that maxed out level. So we need to also be having average queue length, wouldn't we? To see, well, is it a case of we're not selling because nobody can actually get to the till to sell stuff? So again, you have to make sure your metrics are sensible and built to validate that the results of them are correct. It's a really tricky topic to actually bring all this together and serve it in a way that's going to make something consistent and of value to the business. But let's go back to our retail example. If we were, and again, the parkrun data set is meant to be a bit of a retail analog, so we can say, well, you know, Newcastle's got 4 parkruns. So imagine we were a retailer with 4 shops across Newcastle. We're looking and seeing, well, what goes on in each shop. I'm going to want reports at the shop level that people in the shop can look at. I'm going to want reports potentially at the area business level that people can look at. And if we've got shops in Sunderland, we've got shops in County Durham, shops in Northumberland, I'm going to want then something that their area business teams can look at. And then I'm going to want something that our management structure above that can look at. So we've got that view, that nuanced view across it. What I don't want is to have to manage reports for each store, for each region, for each global, for our global on top, and then for anything else that comes through. I'm going to want all of that coming from one model. What's the word? What's the phrase? One single source of truth. That is when the game changes. When you get that one source of truth and have it serving multiple areas, that is the benefit. That is the power of Power BI. But if you like what you've seen, get in touch, okay? Geordie Consulting will help steer your organization through the minefield that is getting this right. And once you get it right, you see the business changes. If we're talking about, oh, it's really expensive, we've got to get consultancy in, and they do one model for you, and then it's really simple, and we can hand it back to you, your quid's in, because that's one thing that people haven't looked after, not tens and tens of things, and, oh, well, we've got that, oh, this has changed, we've got to do this. You start to future-proof, you start to plan, you're looking ahead, how can we structure this effectively? Everything suddenly is automated, the reports are ready, they're not manually built, but across multiple areas of the business, they're just here. People can go and look, oh, it's 9 o'clock, I'm going to click here, oh, wow, okay, it's ready. Changes how the business works, yeah? So get in touch if you want to see that going on. There's a link down below, you can book a meeting. For now though, stay safe, take care, ta-da.